Greetings, math fans. All right, so this is another day of factoring, right? It's a long chapter, all kinds of different types of factoring problems. So the last type of factoring we talked about was something called difference of two squares. Okay, remember? And difference meant there was a subtraction sign, and two squares meant like an x squared, perfect square, and 49 is a perfect square. Okay? Well, we're going to do something a little bit different today. And instead of saying x squared minus 49, a difference of two squares, so let me write the topic here. This is actually going to be the sum, which is add, or difference, which is subtract, of two cubes. So what you need to first of all understand now, with difference of two squares, it had to be subtraction. Had to be. In fact, if you did x squared plus 25, you couldn't factor this because there's a plus sign here. Okay? And what now it's going to happen is it doesn't matter. It can be sum or difference of two. So again, two terms. But I'm going to focus on this now. It's got to be two cubes. So these are perfect cubes. And a perfect cube just means basically, let me just write them out. And I'll tell you, you guys need to keep these handy, okay? Because when you see a number, you can always take the cube root or you can multiply a number by itself, right? A cube just means like 2 times 2 times 2. That's a perfect cube. It's like saying 2 cubed, which is 8. That's a perfect cube. In fact, 1 times 1 times 1, so 1 cubed or 1's a perfect cube. Okay, so let's actually, I'm going to kind of erase this here now. Actually, let me just get rid of this part right here. All right, so let me just list our perfect cubes real quickly. 1 cubed is 1. 2 cubed is 8. That's 2 times 2 times 2. 3 cubed is 27. 3 times 3 is 9. Times 3 is 27. 4 cubed is 64. And 5 cubed is 125. Now, we can go higher, and you guys can always check. You can do more if you want on your calculator. 6 cubed, 7 cubed, just to see, if you need to know that. But let's just keep these kind of handy here. Okay? So the first thing is you got to be able to recognize that it's a difference or sum of two cubes. So if I start out a problem like this, x cubed plus 27. Let's just do that one. That's a nice friendly problem to start out with. Okay, so it's definitely, those are two cubes and it's a sum of two cubes. So you need to pay attention because this is how you set the problem up. Once you set the problem up, you kind of get it, you're good to go. All right, the first thing I want you guys to do, just like I did before with difference of two squares, how I found the square root of each of these, you're going to find the cubed root of each of these. Now, as long as you have this handy, okay, finding the cube root is like super easy. Well, first of all, the cube root of x cubed is just x, right? You should know that, right? Just like the square root of x squared is x. All right, so the cube root of x cubed is x. So write that down above it. The cube root of 27, well, you look at it and you're like, oh, okay, it's 3. So write a 3 here. Okay. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to write a couple sets of parentheses. You're going to put one set of parentheses here and then another set where it's a little bit wider. So what you're going to do is you're going to have 2 terms here. You're going to have 3 terms here. Okay? So this is kind of a little thing that some kids taught me. I'm going to erase this to make a little bit more room here. Okay? When I say the kids taught me, I learned this, like I said, back in the day when they were teaching me an easy way to remember things. And we're going to use something which you use every day, I hope, is called SOAP. S-O-A-P. All right? So let me write this, let me write it this way, S-O-A-P. So SOAP stands for, I'm going to write it out first, and then I'm going to apply it. So S stands for same sign. O stands for opposite. sign. And AP is one thing. It stands for always positive. Okay? So this is what I mean. By the way, the sign we're looking at, I'm going to put this in blue here, is this plus sign. Okay, that's what we're looking at, the sign between the two terms. Okay, so this same sign, let me just kind of highlight it here. This same sign is going to go right here. So that's the S for same sign. So it's the same sign as that blue, so I'm going to put a plus sign. Okay, the opposite sign is going to go right here. So this is the opposite sign, O, and that means it's opposite of what that plus is, so it's going to be a minus. Okay, and then this always positive is going to go right here. It's AP, and it's always positive, so you put a plus sign. Okay, so you got to get the signs right. That's important. If you don't have the signs right, you're not even going to get the problem right. All right, so now this is what we do. And again, if you write this all down and you have this in your note sheet, you're going to be good to go when you go and take your test and final exam. Okay, so see that X and that 3? You're going to put it right here. X and 3. Okay, this next position here, you're going to take that X. You can take that X and you're going to square it. So it's x squared goes here. In the last position, you're going to take that 3 and you're going to square it. So 3 squared, and you're going to get 9. And that goes here. Okay? In the middle position, let me use a different color here. The middle position, you're going to take the x and the 3 and you're going to multiply it together. So you're going to multiply, which gives you 3x. And that's what you're going to put in that spot. In this spot right here. Let me erase that. Okay, so you can put, oops. So you're going to put a 3x there. 3x. And that, math fans, this guy right here, is the solution to that problem. Okay, that looks a little complicated, it's brutal. But I just want to show you, do you guys agree our first problem, I know it's like really messy, but here's our first problem. It started out as x cubed plus 27. I just want to show you, you don't need to do this, but watch. So I'm going to erase a couple things here just so I get, I can have a little room. If I erase this and watch, if I multiply this out, so if I distribute that, so that's that and multiply it out. So this is like the beginning of the chapter. So x times x squared is x cubed. X times negative 3x is minus 3x squared. X times 9 is plus 9x. 3 times x squared is plus 3x squared. 3 times negative 3x is negative 9x. And 3 times 9 is 27. So notice, math fans, this 3x squared and this negative 3x squared and positive 3x squared cancel. This 9x and this negative 9x cancel. And what are you left with? X cubed plus 27, which is exactly what we started with. All right. Well, obviously, you don't need to do that. I just want to show you how this crazy looking thing right here, I just blacked it out, which here, sorry about that. Yeah. That crazy looking thing right there basically is this guy right here. Let's go, my pen's going crazy here. This is the same as this. Okay, you don't need to do this, but I just wanted to show you that when you fold it out. Okay, I showed you a lot of stuff. Let me just do a couple more examples here, okay? So I'm going to delete all this ink here. Okay, and then I want you to, again, recognize perfect cubes. Okay, so here we go. If I said x cubed minus 64. So what I want you to do is I want you to take the cube root of x cubed is x. The cube root of 64 is 4. You need to have that on your paper. Okay. Then I'm going to do this. I'm going to put a set of parentheses and then a big set of parentheses. Remember, I have 2 terms here, and here I have 3 terms. Okay. You're going to use SOAP. Same sign, so that's a minus. Opposite sign here, always positive. Okay, and then you're going to take that x and 4 and you're going to put it here. This next term is you're going to square the x, so it's x squared. The last term you're going to square the 4, which is 16. And the middle term you're going to multiply the x and the 4 together to give you 4x. And that's it right there. Okay, and guess what? That's the answer to that problem. You're done with it. Okay, really it's not difficult. You just got to follow that rule. So I want to do a bunch of examples with you guys just to make sure you guys are good to go. So let's try another one. Let's do x cubed plus 125. Okay, so what's the cube root of x cubed? X. What's cube root of 125? 5. Parenthesis, parenthesis. All right, SOAP. Same sign, opposite sign, always positive. Okay, the x and the 5 go here. The x squared, I square that first term, I square the last term, and I multiply the 2 terms together. And we're done with the problem. This goes fast, guys. It goes really fast as long as you know what you're doing, right? Okay, let's keep going here. Let's try something a little bit crazier one. Let's do 8x cubed minus no, I don't want to do 8 minus, so 8x cubed minus 27. Okay, sorry, there we go. 8x cubed minus 27. So here's the deal. You got to take the cube root of this. What's cube root of 8? 2. Have that little chart next to you. So look, the cube root of 8 is 2. The cube root of x cubed is x. What's cube root of 27? It's 3. So those are your numbers. So you're going to put your parenthesis, big parenthesis. Okay, SOAP, same sign, opposite sign, always positive. All right, so the first one you put 2x and 3. The next one is I'm squaring 2x. So be careful, guys. 2x quantity squared. Make sure you square both those terms. So it's 4x squared. Don't just say 2x squared because you didn't square the 2. You got to square the 2. So it's 4x squared. 3 squared is 9. And multiplying these two together, 2x times 3 is 6x. And you're done with the problem. What? Okay? It's not bad, right? Again, just if you have a couple examples, and when you take your quiz, you'll see exactly what to do. So let's do just a little bit crazier one. Let's do 125. Well, I want to do 2 of them. So if I do 125 minus 8y cubed. So it's kind of in reverse, but it's not a big deal. What's the cube root of 125? 5. What's cube root of 8? 2. What's cube root of y cubed? Y. Those are your numbers. Okay? Same sign, opposite sign, always positive. So here goes 5 and 2y. The first one is 5 squared, which is 25. 2y squared is 4y squared. And 5 times 2y is 10y, and you're done with the problem. Okay? So probably the most complicated one I could possibly give you here is 27x cubed plus, we're going to go with 125y cubed. It's probably the most complicated one I can give you because it's got numbers, variables on both of them, but no big deal. Okay, so again, you got to recognize that's the difference of two cubes, or a sum of two cubes. In this case, is sum, right? What's the cube root of 27? 3. What's the cube root of x cubed? X. What's the cube root of 125? 5. What's the cube root of y cubed? Y. Okay. La la la. SOAP, same sign. Opposite sign, always positive. All right, so 3x and 5y go here. Remember, this spot here is 3x squared, so it's 9x squared. This spot right here is 5y squared, which is 25y squared. And then if I multiply in this last spot here, 3x times 5y, that gives me 15xy. And we are done with this problem. That's the answer. Okay? So again, that's how you do sum and difference of two cubes. Make sure you use SOAP, both in the morning when you're showering so you smell nice for class, and when you're doing sum and difference of two cubes. Okay? That's it, math fans. Have an outstanding day, and don't forget to use SOAP. Adios. Goodbye.